Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, Restaurant Recipe Recreations. This channel is dedicated to teaching you how to create your favorite signature dishes from the most popular restaurants. In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to create Olive Garden's Fettuccine Alfredo, one of my personal favorites. Such a simple dish. We can do it all from beginning to end in about 15 minutes, and that's including boiling the pasta. If you've watched any of my other episodes before, you know that I like to have all of my ingredients portioned out and ready to go. It's what the French refer to as mise en place, which means everything in its place. And so I have everything that I need right at my fingertips. And once the cooking starts, it just makes the process easier, faster, and more enjoyable. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. This is Olive Garden's Fettuccine Alfredo. Okay, we're going to start with 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I always use unsalted butter because salt is obviously something that you add near the end of the recipe. Just about everything has some salt in it, so you don't want anything to have an excess of salt. Salt is really something that should be tasted and added at the end. 6 tablespoons is 3/4 of a stick, so we're going to go ahead and get that nice and melted. Okay, I have the heat on about medium-high or so. Now that the butter's almost completely melted, I'm going to add 2 cloves of minced garlic and get that worked around and incorporated into the butter there. You do want the garlic to brown a little bit, but you definitely do not want it to burn. One way to keep it from burning is to keep the garlic and the butter moving around in the pan. And now we're going to add 1 cup of 2% milk. There we go. That'll halt the cooking process a little bit. Now I'm going to add 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. Now once that mixture comes to a very slow and light boil, we're going to add the cheese. We're going to use 2 types of cheese in equal amounts. First we have 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. Next, 1/2 cup of Pecorino Romano cheese. You should be absolutely grating your own cheese. If you haven't heard me say it before, pre-shredded and pre-sliced cheese comes coated with this nasty powder that they put on it. It's a preservative to keep the cheese from clumping in the bag, but it's just a lesser quality product. So grate your cheese whenever you can, whether that's Pecorino Romano or cheddar, or Swiss, anything that you need. You should be buying block cheese and grating yourself. Okay, enough of that. We're incorporating this cheese now. We're constantly stirring so that the cheese gets nice and melty. Once that cheese melts, we're going to go ahead and finish this dish. Okay, the cheese is almost entirely incorporated and melted, so I've gone ahead and turned the heat down to a low heat, because at this point all we need to do is add the finishing touches for that last bit of flavor and the pasta, and we're done. 1/2 of a fresh lemon. Fresh lemon with cream sauces and cheese sauces is perfect. It just brings all of those flavors together and makes it just a wonderful combination. Now we're going to add fresh nutmeg. 1 teaspoon of ground fresh nutmeg, and now we're going to add some cracked fresh pepper. Now I want to make this cheese sauce a little bit thicker, so I have turned my heat back up to medium-high heat, and I'm going to incorporate what is called a slurry. This is a cornstarch slurry that I've made with about equal parts 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of just water, or you could use chicken stock. You could use flour, but I prefer to use cornstarch. And the key to it is that you need to keep the heat high and you slowly drizzle it in and watch as it gets to your desired consistency. You don't want it too thick because it still has to coat the pasta. You don't want it to be clumpy, but you don't want it to be too thin either because that'll make it runny. So I would say as long as it's nicely grabbing onto your spoon or your wooden spoon, whatever you're using, that would make it a nice consistency. I'm going to finish it with some Fresh parsley, this is Italian parsley, diced very, very thinly, about 1/2 cup. Go ahead and blend that in. And now I'm going to add the pasta. This is 1 pound of Barilla fettuccine. This is cooked to al dente instructions. Even after you drain the pasta from the boiling water, the pasta will continue to cook for a little bit. And also you're putting this into a hot cream sauce. So that's going to create it to cook a little bit as well. So you do want to just make sure that the pasta is al dente, because if not, you run the risk of it becoming mushy, and that's gross. Nobody likes that. Okay, I have the sauce and the pasta well incorporated. I did take a taste of one of the noodles, and I've decided it does need a little bit of salt. But notice I've put the salt in at the very end. So this comes to be about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Let's give that a nice mix again, and we should be ready to serve. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode on Olive Garden's Fettuccine Alfredo. Definitely one of the most popular items on their menu, and the full ingredient listing is in the description below. So try the recipe tonight or this weekend for your family, and let me know how you liked it. Put it in the comment section below. Also, please consider subscribing to this channel, and if you hit the notification button, you'll be notified of all of my upcoming episodes in teaching you how to create your favorite recipes from the most popular restaurants. Also, you can friendscape me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest, and I'll be seeing you again soon. Have a great day, everybody. Take care, cheers, and love y'all.